Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Woof! Woof indeed. Say it like you mean it. Oh, there goes that shovel. Oh, this was that kind of... It's hard to see the creepers among the trees. Yeah, welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Oh, dirt's right here. Where we are walking to the far lands and raising money for Child's Play charity in the process. Episode 213. Heading off in a westward direction, and we had a very generous spike in donations over at farlandsorbust.com. We're up to $12,261.50. A very, very generous donation that got us $200 more than where we left the last episode. I think we were at $12,050 in the last episode, so thank you very much to the very generous donation and a few other ones that came in as well. And you can keep doing that at farlandsorbust.com. Chip-in widget on the homepage will allow you to do such things as these. But yeah, we are continuing on. Nice mountains. Kind of a beachy thing here, but yeah. Where are we going? Oh, speaking of very generous people and getting more donations in, if you haven't already seen, perhaps you're not subscribed to these people. Why are you not? Go subscribe to them, but good friend Juicetra and PauseUnpause are going to be holding on February 1st through February 3rd. It's this Friday through Sunday. A live stream that they are calling Canadians for Kidz. 4 as in the number 4 in Kidz, K-I-D-Z. They're holding a live stream, and they actually apparently live within proximity of each other, so Pause is going to be heading over to Juicetra's, so it's going to be like an in real life live stream on their Twitch channels. I will link you to both of their introductory videos that they posted about the live stream, the Canadians for Kidz live stream. And then they have all the links and information about their Twitch channels and information like that and schedules and whatnot. But they're very gracious to be raising money for Child's Play charity, but more specifically, they're going to be putting it towards the Far Lands or Bust. The Far Lands or Bust Child's Play charity goal, the running total that we have, like I said, over at farlandsorbust.com. So those guys are awesome. So check that out. Their goal is to raise over the weekend $7,500. So that will put us up and into the $20,000 range if they're able to do that. So please go check that out. And I don't know, maybe a familiar name will pop in. Not in person. Good Lord, not in person. But maybe a familiar name will pop in and out throughout the weekend to say hello and play some games and stuff like that. So check that out. Like I said, I'll put the links in the video description to both Juicetra's and Pause's videos that introduce that and give the details about that. So woohoo! Woohoo indeed. That didn't sound very enthusiastic. Woohoo. No, woohoo. That is a enthusiastic woohoo. Indeed. What else is going on? I mentioned last week, in the last episode, that Spreadshirt is having free shipping starting today through Wednesday, the 28th through the 30th, with the coupon code FREELOVE. You can get free shipping on any size order. That, for Far Lands or Bust merchandise, is farlands.spreadshirt.com. I should have probably checked before. It's an interesting place for a tree to grow. I should have checked before recording this episode, but I want to say that also works on the European store, which is farlands.spreadshirt.net, but I have yet to confirm such things. So, if you are shopping on that site, perhaps try the code FREELOVE and hopefully it works. If not, I apologize. It's not under my control, but yeah. Another thing there. Indeed. Liquid hot magma. Whew, yeah, so, things to talk about. This past weekend was kind of slow on the videos. I apologize. I just had... Saturday was a loss, and Sunday I just had, what did I have go up? Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider. It was actually a pretty good episode of Tomb Raider, so check that out if you haven't, but, kind of a slow weekend. I'm still... I'm sure other people, if you subscribe to people like Etho, BOO, stuff like that, they've talked about how it's a little bit, it's not disconcerting, but it's a little bit, in terms of, as our full-time YouTuber status, January is not that great of a month for revenue, for the ad revenue, which a lot of us obviously depend on, and you might notice sometimes you don't see ads at all on any of our videos, or people who do the mid-break ads, they'll say, we'll be right back after this commercial break, and then there's no commercial. That's just, that's not, you guys aren't doing anything wrong, it's just the way the business works, see? So, it's a little bit tough to keep coming up with new interesting ideas to try to counter that. So unfortunately, I ran dry this past weekend, but we're getting rolling again. February is going to be great. Look forward to. I've got quite a few plans in the hopper for February. New games and also new Minecraft ideas and things like that. So look forward to some videos and series that I'm really looking forward to personally in February. Excuse me, Wolfie. So yeah, we're getting going. I'm not gonna be one of these people who apologizes. I've got nothing to be sorry about. It's just the nature of having a YouTube channel. So we're keeping going, getting things going. My main concern, like I've always said, is Farlands or Bust. So trying to keep these on a regular every other day, if not every 3 days sort of thing. And definitely want to get back when we get really good support like we've had for Child's Play charity. Careful, Wolfie, don't get stuck in the ice with this last... Oh! This last little $200 jump in the donations. Sorry, I have to take a little bit of a detour and look at this spire of autumn tree-ness. That's awesome. Blunk? Water's cold, Wolfie, careful. That's awesome. I like it a lot. Woof, so does Wolfie. It gets the Wolfie seal of approval. Strange spire with a giant tree on top. Woof. Let's see. I've got a quick question I can answer really quickly before the sun sets here from Ronnie Threeville. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Ronnie Evil, but the 3 is supposed to be the E in evil. It's like Driver 3. The 3 was the E. Ah, very clever. Typography. So Johnny Threeville asked, Kurt, are you going to PAX East? I am not. I considered it because a few of the Mindcrack guys are. I know Good. I think Blame the Controller. Others, I'm sorry, this is one of these other things I should have looked up before starting to talk about. I think Pause is also going? I don't know. Could be wrong. Buff, I know a couple. I want to say Nebris and Michael? Maybe MC Gamer? I'm not sure. So, a sizable group of Mindcrackers are going to PAX East. I will not be, however. I'll have to consider one of the Penny Arcade Expos in the future, because obviously the correlation to Child's Play charity and everything, that would be something cool to do. I've also, since coming back from Minecon, have been curious to go to a convention that is non-Minecraft related, so that I could actually attend kind of as an attendee, as opposed to like we were panelists, so we were surrounded by fans and autographs and things like that. That kind of alters one's perception of a convention when you become an attraction as opposed to an attendee. So perhaps in the future, although I feel like maybe the prime one on the West Coast would be the one to go to. That's kind of a contradiction of of climates and terms right there. We've got a lava pool right in the middle of an ice sheet. A sheet of ice. Boop, boop, boop. All right, let's set up the elevated hidey hole for the first night of today's episode. Boop, 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 boop. And a frozen lava pool-ness. I guess it's not really frozen, it's melting. It's melting the ice. Boop. Global warming right before our eyes. I'm carrying around cobblestone for no reason. All right. Whoa, we don't want to go towards the lava. So yeah, that answers that question. So I personally will not be going, but there are Mindcrackers going. So if you're going, check out, look out for them. I'm sure they'd be happy to say hello and be the, you know, give fan service, if you will. Yeah, indeed. Here's an interesting question that I've not yet been asked. One of these hypotheticals. I'm not very good at the hypothetical questions. Like, would you do this, or would you rather have this and not have this, or this and not have that? You know, those sort of things I've never been very... Hello? I've never been very good at answering, because I'm a little bit too analytical about those sorts of things, where I'm like, well, what about, you know, I try to fit those sort of things into a real world situation. And this question is no different. Collapsed Truth 43 asked, boop, boop, boop. Oh, he didn't ask boop, boop, boop. He asked, if you won $1 million, what is the first thing you would buy? First of all, my first reaction to that is, well, now, do I win? Is like the prize money $1 million? Because if that's the case, after fees and taxes and all this other junk, you really probably only end up with, if you're lucky, maybe $500,000, maybe $400,000. And I don't know, for those of... I know there's a lot of young people who watch my show, and perhaps they don't know, but when people win the lottery, oh, I just won $10 million in the lottery. Why are you not attacking? I punched this guy. There we go. They don't just walk away with that giant check and then deposit it in their bank account. There's taxes. You generally have to get a lawyer in order to protect how you get the money and where the money goes, because you obviously just can't put it into a bank account, because then it's not insured. You know, you put it into a normal bank, and then they only insure... What does the FDIC do now? It used to be $100,000, but after the whole banking calamity, it's $250,000 maybe now. So it's not as cut and dry. So my skeptical kind of logical self right away, when posed with the question, if you won $1 million, I'd be like, well, I really wouldn't have $1 million then, would I? I'd have $400,000 after all is said and done, or something like that. But let's just say, for the sake of the hypothetical question from our good friend Collapsed Truth 43, that my after-tax and after-fees take-home amount is $1 million flat, just straight up. What would be the first thing I bought? I'm not sure, to be honest. And really, I don't know, I would probably, this is kind of going to sound weird, but I would probably use it as an excuse to get rid of things. Because part of my problem with parting with particular objects of not so important postulations is that I feel like when you get rid of junk or get rid of things that you no longer need, that you're kind of losing value. Like, for instance, I have a pair of shoes that don't fit. They're not particularly expensive. I bought them for about $100 maybe, but they don't fit. I don't like their style anymore. But instead of just donating them to Goodwill, I'm like holding on to them thinking that I should like sell them on eBay or something like that, just to get a little bit of that value back. Just because I feel like I'm throwing away whatever I've put into this purchase, and, you know, that applies to these old computers that I have in my closet that I'm not using and would be of no particular use for anybody right now, and you know, I've got a bare hard drive here that is just an old 200 gigabyte hard drive. What am I going to use that for, you know? I've replaced it with a 2 terabyte hard drive in my current computer. You know, little things like that. I feel like there's value there that you can't get rid of, and that is kind of a trap to get into. But getting back to the question at hand, if I had $1 million, I'd be like, well, I suddenly have $1 million. I don't really need to worry about losing value, so I'll just donate these things or throw them away or really simplify, man. You know, simplify the things I do have before I start adding new things to the money with the money. So that is a really unoriginal and just boring answer. But what would I buy? I wouldn't go out of my way to like buy a house, fancy house or anything like that. I would probably put a lot of the money away. Once again, being the boring old guy, I would put a lot of the money away so that I could live off of it for a while. You know, I'll say, okay, I got $1 million. Let's put it away, invest it or whatever. And then, you know, kind of pay myself for, you know, let's say, okay, the average middle class income to be comfortable would be, say, you know, about $40,000 a year. So I would have the $1 million, but only every year I would pay myself $40,000 so that I could live off of it. And then I could continue, say, just doing YouTube without having to worry, like I said earlier in the episode. Ooh, segue. Earlier in the episode that some months are not all that great in terms of the advertising revenue goes. So that would shield me from that. So I would be doing the videos more, you know, less for income and more just for fun and for fans and charity and you guys. So it's oh, I have over a stack of wool here. Let's stop shearing sheep. That's kind of the way I would go about it. I know, really boring. I would probably want to buy a nice telescope. You know, there's things that are currently on my mind that I would want, but I don't personally have the money set away for them, so I just kind of... You check out the websites or the products, or you see a new product come out, ooh, that'd be nice to have, but I can't justify buying it. Stuff like that. Of course, my love of classic cars, it would be very nice to have a classic car, but I wouldn't buy a $60,000 pristinely restored, you know, 55 Chevy. I would buy some $5,000 rust bucket that I could just then use what money I saved to try to keep it running and restore it, but also just drive it on a near daily basis, you know? Just because that's the way I feel about classic cars, is they're cars, they have to be driven. Don't just, you know, lock them up in a garage and only take them out to drive them on your trailer to car shows and things like that. So, I don't know. I'm very practical in those sense. Obviously, I'm also going to assume that the terms of what would you spend this $1 million on would be that you can't just give it to charity. Because obviously I would find multiple. I wouldn't just say, oh, let's give it all to Child's Play charity. I would find multiple charities that might be in various levels of need for the funds and donate to them and stuff like that too. So, but again, a lot of people want you to say, I'd buy a mansion out here, you know, or I'd buy some rare, you know, Action Comics #1, you know, or something like that in an auction. So, oh, interesting. Floating slabs of ice. So yeah, I'm sorry that is probably like the most boring and uninspired, unselfish answer I could have given for that. But that's the way I kind of feel about those hypothetical questions like that. So yeah, I think that answers that question. Does it not? Like, yeah, I wouldn't... I suppose I would do some traveling as well. I would like to go to Alaska or places. I'd like to see the Northern Lights. I don't know, perhaps with $1 million I could also find some way to visit Antarctica. Antarctica is kind of one of those places that's out of the norm to travel to. I'd perhaps have to pay my way, or that would be part of my donation, would be to donate to some sort of science fund or research station that happens down there, and by doing so I would buy myself a spot to participate or something like that, which I'm sure would make the scientists and other people happy. Who's this person who doesn't know anything just bought his way into our research station? What a jerk. I don't know. It's, I don't want many things, if that makes sense. I'm a very simple person. Simple Kurt. Simple Kurt! Blunk. Alright, sun's setting here. Let's prepare for another elevated hidey hole. I don't know, I suppose I could buy my way onto a flight into space. Although actually no, with $1 million you can't do that. I think for tourists to take advantage of the Soyuz, to be a space tourist, I think that's like 35 million or something like that. So yeah, $1 million would be nice, but really in today's world $1 million isn't that much, unfortunately, the way things are going. But yeah, here we go, another night. Episode 213 of Firelands or Bust. Let's go to sleep. And $1 million-ness. Right, Wolfie? Oh, that was weird. My, like, foot stuff sounded like it was delayed. Woof! A little bit of a... Well, relating to money, but, Danny videos. I think we found a spawner, guys. Hold on, let's have Wolfie sit down here. This seems like it might collapse. Up here. Wolfie. Right here. Hey, guy. There we go. Sit. Well done. Yep. Ooh. Oh, no, I don't think it's a spawner at all. No, it's just a lake. An underground lake. Get a suntan. Woo! A lot of you suggested that I leave the diamond sword of spawn pointiness at the spawn cabin Mark II. It still has. Look at the... I don't know. You probably can't tell on YouTube that well unless you watch in 720p, but it still has a good 25% of durability left. I'm almost confident that we could carry it to the next F3 monument, to be honest. I don't use it that much. Like, that was the first time I've used it in a couple episodes, and then even before that, I rarely use it at all. I could always switch. I have an iron sword. I could switch to that if need be, but... The diamond sword of spawn pointiness, much like my feeling about classic cars, its intent is to be used as a diamond sword of spawn pointiness and defense and attack against the zombies and mobs. Shouldn't just lock it away in a chest for all of time. The spawn point diamond pickaxe was on its last breath, so that's why I left it back at the 292-202 monument. And really, I don't have that much use for a diamond pickaxe either. I don't go mining that much. I don't, there's nothing I can't get with a diamond pickaxe that I can't get with an iron one. Except for obsidian, but the only reason we need obsidian is to go to the nether, and we did that without such things, and we're never going back again. But yeah, sorry. Danny Videos asked, what would your reaction be if some company wanted to pay you to do a Let's Play series of their game? I don't know. That seems like quite the conflict of interest. And I know as Let's Players and YouTubers, we're not technically like journalists. I mean, there are some YouTubers who are more have video game review shows and things, and that would definitely be a conflict of interest and kind of morally unethical to take money. It would be like taking money from a movie studio to say something nice about their movie, which actually happens sometimes. If you see on trailers or on movie posters, non-stop action, you see a quote from some no-name reviewer from, Podunk, Mississippi, someplace you never heard of. It's very possible, at least in exchange for having your name on the movie poster, maybe they got something in return to say something nice about that movie that perhaps is actually quite crappy in the end. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen, the whole payola thing also, but I would be against such things, even though, like I said, my channel in particular isn't that much of a review channel. I would say the closest thing to something similar to that is when a video game developer or studio gives a copy of a game to Let's Players, and we try to make it clear when that sort of stuff happens. Like with Chivalry, they gave us early access to Chivalry to play, you know, all of us Mindcrackers, and we made sure, and I made sure to say that right from the get-go. And even the fact that I wasn't, that didn't sway the fact that I was not a big fan of Chivalry. I really don't like that style of game, and I think that the way they implemented it was rather clunky, and it was a little bit, it just wasn't fun for me. Even though I still appreciate the fact that that company recognized how important Let's Players are and went out of their way not only to give a copy for us to play, but also allow us to upload videos and monetize, whereas some other video game, like I mentioned, was the last episode or 2 episodes ago, some video game companies are against that and are kind of, they don't appreciate the value added, segue to a couple episodes ago, the value added that we give to the video games and things like that. So yeah, and it's always worth noting, I mean, same thing happened with, we were given copies of Ace of Spades, the new version of Ace of Spades, to play. It was fun, some other people are still playing it, I haven't gotten around to playing it, but it's also something, I guess, as viewers of these YouTube videos that you guys should be aware of and you should base your decisions on. So maybe there is some Let's Player or YouTuber out there who, careful Wolfie, who suddenly gets a new game and they suspiciously like it a little bit too much. You might want to consider that maybe they've been swayed a little bit by the fact that they got a free game. Oh, hello. and their review of it, oops, sorry, is kind of based on that fact and not so much if they were to have gone out and bought the game themselves. I already saw a zombie in there. Hey, guy. Speaking of the diamond sword of spawn pointiness, you will feel its wrath. Woo! Oh, I'm out of torches. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Some bread and some wheat. That's all we want. Thanks for your doing business. We will see you later. So yeah, I would not accept actual money from a gaming company to play their game. Because like I said, we get paid for doing this anyway from the ads. So that's our source of income. So thanks for that question. That was certainly something to talk about. It was certainly something to talk about. Sun's kind of going down. I got this question from a few people, but I couldn't. Then I went back and tried to find all the usernames that gave me this question. The one, let's see. Well, actually, there's a few questions. Yeah, no, I have a bunch, actually. Haha, found it. Thata Big T 101, Bizarre Jelly 5, both asked similar questions. If you could bring features from the newer version of Minecraft into the version we're playing here, Beta 173, what would it be? I've had this question, I've answered this question before. You know, similar questions that I've had in the last few episodes are if there are things you could add to Minecraft, what would they be? But specifically talking about bringing things into this version, and I know I get the suggestion all the time, hey, there's the version add-on editor or whatever it's called. There's an add-on, a mod for Minecraft that allows you to, in the current version, bring back old terrain generations and things like that. I've seen that, but I don't want to use stuff like that because then it's not, to me anyway, it's not vanilla. We are literally in the vanilla version of Minecraft Beta 173. I've done nothing to alter it other than our texture pack that we're using. So it's the true Far Lands or Bust is how I feel. What things would I add? if I could, from the current version. You guys know that I don't do much with the redstone updates, which are big going on now. I don't particularly need any additional items. Like, I don't need hoppers. I have... pistons. Yeah, pistons are in this version of the game, but I've never crafted one. I don't... There's a lot of stuff I don't need in this version of the game. Sprinting, I can't see using that often. Because, like I said, it's not about the speed at which we get to the far lands. It's about the journey. The hunger would actually be more problematic than anything. You know what? I suppose it's purely aesthetic, but the newer smooth lighting would be nice. Because it makes these sunsets a little bit more dramatic. It makes the nighttime... Even recently, they changed the way the stars are at night. They're a little bit more neat. As opposed to now, as the sun sets, in this version of the game, you'll watch, it's just like a blanket of darkness that happens all at once. And we have to wait for a certain... Yeah, there we go. Boom! Suddenly dark, you know? And that's purely aesthetic, I suppose you could say. I suppose adding to that, I suppose having the newer biomes, being able to walk through a jungle biome at some point would be interesting. But of course, the fact that they added those new biomes and the terrain generation are the reason that the Farlands disappeared in the first place. So, oh, I need torches. Need torches. Sorry, Wolfie. Give me a break. So yeah, I can't really... I've gotten so used to this version and what we don't have that I can't think of anything that I would particularly... Oh, now I need a shovel too. Dang. Hold on. Terrible job of my job. I just want to get down to stone so I can use this. There we go. This is a deep subterranean hidey hole. So yeah, I get that question frequently, and like I said, people say, whoa. Somebody, what? Somebody has been messing with my mouse sensitivity. There we go. I think it's time for a new mouse, actually. Okay, now it's really slow. It has adjustable. I have the MX518, I think, is the Logitech one that I have. Great mouse, and it really sucks that they don't make it anymore, because I would just buy another one. And I've had it for many, many years. But they've recently updated it, so now it's like the MX520 or the 6000 or something, but a lot of people are saying it's not as good. So I don't know, I'll have to be considering a new mouse eventually. But yeah, it just feels like, it feels like somebody's changing my sensitivity, but just slightly. And it's very annoying. I don't know how many of you succumb to the same phenomenon when you boot up your computer for the first time, and then you're like, this doesn't feel right at all. No, stack. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I already have a boat. I do need a shovel. I do need a stick. Boop, boop, and a boop, and a boop. No, I just want one shovel, thank you. Let's do that. I guess we can make the rest into torches. Look at me being all efficient with my crafting abilities. We can get this back, but yeah. This is episode 213 of Farlands or Bust. Let's keep giving at farlandsorbust.com to Child's Play charity. You can click on the annotation on the end slate that we're about to see in a few seconds. Still a little bit unsure of how to introduce that, but it'll just happen. Just expect it. Expect it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to check out Canadians for Kids livestream this weekend, February 1st through the 3rd, with Pause and Juicetra, and perhaps another familiar name that might pop in from time to time, and have a seizure, apparently. Pop in from time to time. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.